What is up, people of YouTube? Just made myself a cup of cocoa. Figured I'll come back and do this update. It's been about a year. I showed you guys in my last video, if you guys are returning viewers, you'll know, I showed you guys in my last video last year that I was building a camper van. The plan was to just kind of do weekends. Well, the plan when I first bought it was to just kind of do weekends, maybe if I got some vacation time, hop out cross country, do a road trip like that. But very quickly I realized that this was a fun lifestyle and there was no just doing weekends about it. I'm living in this thing and I'm making it so everything I own is in here, and I've done a pretty good job. I live in the state of Maine, and if you guys don't know anything about this state, it gets quite cold. The last week we haven't gone above freezing. I don't think it's gotten above 10 degrees Fahrenheit this whole time. It gets quite cold up here. We just had a blizzard last night. I'm gonna bring you guys over here. Sorry, it's gonna blind you for a second until I get the light properly focused. Yeah, you can see we got a little over a foot of snow last night. We look pretty good though. We got our driveway all cleared out. There was like a statewide parking ban, so that is why I am at my mother's house, because your boy ain't trying to get no parking tickets for parking somewhere where there's snowplows trying to clear snow. Not how I rock and roll. Anyway, I'm gonna flip the camera around and I'm gonna show you guys a little bit about how I've been surviving. It's van life roughing it, as you could say. No, because van life roughing it wouldn't involve a diesel heater. You'd have like a little buddy heater at best if you were roughing it. But it's not like the vans you see on Instagram. I don't have on-demand hot water. I don't have a toilet. I don't have a shower. I don't have any of that. I pretty much have a bed, a shelf, a heater, a stove, an emergency toilet, which I've never had to use because I live in an area where there's 24-hour convenience stores. I got like 3 of them to choose from. But anyway, I'm gonna flip the camera around and show you guys a little something. Alright, so here is my power system and my heater. And this is the first thing I want to show you. We're gonna go over this kind of like the rules of survival. Shelter, fire, food, all that stuff. So the van, obviously the shelter. You could say this heater is like my fire. That and my stove together, that's like fire. But this is how I get power into my van. I'll typically carry this into work with me and plug it in as soon as I get there. Charge it for a good 8 hours a day, whether it needs it or not. And you can see the inverter is running, and there's a cord running under my bed. You can see that little light under there. That's my charging system for the deep cycle battery that this heater is actually running off of. The heater doesn't run off the jackery. This jackery is just a conveyance of electricity to get it from inside my job to outside here in the van. I steal it, but nobody cares. I guess it's not stealing if you have permission, but it's more fun to say it like that. Anywho, under there, the ammo can is like tools like wrenches, screwdrivers, all that nifty stuff. I just brought a lot of my tools from when I was living in a house into the van. All the critical stuff, I got it so it fits down into a 50 caliber ammo can, which conveniently enough I also had kicking around, because those things just make great storage for anything in your garage or basement, anywhere where it needs to stay dry. Anyway, finishing up my cocoa here, I'm going to show you guys how I make stuff like that. Over here, I got this Snow Peak folding stove. Once you unscrew it off the canister, it fits in that little white plastic thing there. Very convenient. Gives you a single burner. I have a little tiny cast iron pan about the size of a piece of bread, so it's really good for making sandwiches on. And I have multiple steel cups that I can cook with and stuff like that. I make a lot of canned soups, hot dogs. I've made tacos and hamburgers in here a couple times, and that's kind of fun, just in and of itself, just trying to do something like that with a single burner in a van. Typically, I cook up here. I'll put it on that 5-gallon bucket. In that bucket, right now I got some paints because I'm planning on doing some painting to my shelf, and other tools that don't fit in the ammo can. I got some stuff in there. Also, that is my emergency toilet. In the very bottom of there, I have like 4 trash bags lined together and some sawdust. And if the emergency number 2 ever comes and I'm in an urban area where you can't just dig, squat, and bury, or hop into a convenience store for whatever reason, sometimes in urban areas they got no bathrooms, especially in New York City where I like to go. So that is literally an emergency situation. Thank God I have never had to use it. It's just like 4 bags with some sawdust in the very bottom, just in case. I got 6 gallons of water right there. It does get kind of cold up in the front of the van. When I pull that curtain shut at night, all the heat stays back here, and it does get quite cold. As you can see right now, it is quite warm. Typically I do have it between 68 and 70 degrees in here for my dog. She's a big baby. She wouldn't have any less. If it gets like 65, she'll start shivering. But anyway, I got some that black duffel bag. I have some like real cold weather gear, like my thick jacket, some snow pants, some real good Under Armour stuff. That's just for if it gets real bad like it did last night. Shoes I tend to keep up there, and I'll keep like a and during this time of year I'll keep like a towel down just so it sops up all the moisture, because coming in and out your van's gonna be flooded. In here typically just keep stuff like that, drinks, sometimes some food, some hot dogs, ground beef if I know I'm gonna eat it up real quick. Just typical cooler stuff that, you know, you'd bring if you were camping, because that's pretty much how I'm living, like I said. Anyway, I'm gonna flip you guys back around and do some more talking head stuff to you. So this is how I've been living, guys. A couple things I didn't show you before. Under the bed here, that's where I keep my clothes. They were getting rid of some of those Cormark totes from the local convenience store. This one happens to have a cracked lid, and I have a friend that works there and he gave it to me, so thank you. I have one of these crates down here where I keep some food in, stuff like that. Right now I'm looking pretty sparse, but it's just like one of those milk crates, but it's like a different shape. It's kind of a cool, longer milk crate. It's narrower and longer, and it fits right under there. It just slides so perfectly, and my dog can't get it out from under there really well. I've watched her try. I have a GoPro, which if I'm not in the van, sometimes I'll set it up looking at her. Like if I'm close by, I can connect it to my Bluetooth on my phone. She doesn't think I can see her, but I can. She tries to get it. Yes, she does. But she's never gotten it out of there. And that's why I don't keep an awful lot of food in here at all times, just in case she manages to. I don't want her getting like a whole lot of stuff she shouldn't get. When it comes to dog food, I keep that kind of up in front of all this stuff. You can see right there, I got a little plastic container, and the food that I buy those little bags at a time, because like I say, I don't want to have a whole lot of food where she has access to at all times. She could probably chew that open if she really wanted to, so I keep a small amount where it's not gonna make a huge mess and potentially hurt her. Also, over here, I didn't show you guys this. I got this little shelf built into there. It's just like a nice convenient little shelf. Likewise, she can't get in there Did all that myself. I'm not a skilled woodworker. I can shape wood. Basically, like I know a little bit about something. But as you can see, I'm not professional. Like there's all these areas. But to tell you the truth, all these areas that where you can kind of see where there's this metal visible and I can actually reach my hand behind there, it's actually a good thing because condensation develops. You don't want things totally sealed. Like I can actually reach in here. I can actually touch things that are on my shelf. But what that does, that allows air to flow and circulate into those areas so you don't get mold. Hopefully, that's the idea. Mold is a big problem when you're living in a van, okay? You want to be real careful when it comes to stuff like that. Any area where condensation builds up, especially if there's wood right next to that area and that drips on there constantly, you got wet wood, you will get mold right there. So I like things to actually not fit perfectly because that allows air to circulate in those areas where condensation builds up. Anyway, cheers. I figured I'd show you guys a little bit about how I'm living and show you guys that this is possible. You don't have to pay rent to nobody. This heater cost me like 150 bucks. The deep cycle battery was like 90. The charger was likewise about 90 or so. So all in all, for the heater to get it operational, $350. You're good to go. If you have the ability to put a solar panel up, you can get a decent solar panel that'll keep that battery charged for likewise about 100 bucks. So about 400 bucks, you can keep your vehicle heated around the clock, 24/7. And from there, it's just a matter of keeping the vehicle topped up with diesel. For me, I spent a good chunk of change on the Jackery 500. That was about 500 bucks, but that's not necessary. I bought that because I was researching Vanlife videos and everybody had a Jackery, so I was like, I need a Jackery. You don't need a Jackery. You can literally put all that stuff that's in that Jackery together for way cheaper. If I knew then what I know now, I would not have this Jackery. But it's convenient. I like to be able to carry it somewhere. If I'm staying at my girlfriend's house and she don't mind, I can fucking plug into her house. Her electricity is included with her rent. She don't care. But so that's just a way of conveying electricity from one area to another, which is essentially how I use it. I charge my phone off of it. Most of the USB ports are really useful. That way you don't draw as much from your actual house battery that I have under the bed. If any of you have any questions, put them down there in the comments. I am interactive. I will reply. Some of my older videos, I don't even get the notifications when people comment anymore. I don't know how that works, how YouTube does that, but if the video is like more than like 2 or 3 years old, I don't even get those comments. So if you see on some of my other videos I'm not replying, that is why, because I don't see those comments. But they do a pretty good job. If the video is fairly recent, they'll notify you that someone commented and you'll have the ability to reply, and I will come and answer your questions, so put them down there. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys get some information out of this that might free you from having to pay rent. I haven't paid rent to anybody in a year. Yeah, relatively speaking, I'm roughing it. In terms of camping, I'm kind of glamping. I'm kind of like in between, where I'm not really truly roughing it. I'm not like freezing at night, and yeah, I'd say I'm living a lifestyle I am comfortable with. This is not anything new to me. I feel more at home hanging in a hammock, to be honest. Like this is a palace. Anyway, if you guys, like I said, any questions, any comments, if you see anything that maybe could be a safety issue, let me know. So far, I haven't lit myself on fire. I haven't died of carbon monoxide. The heater is vented through the floor. I forgot to mention that. Did I forget to mention that? I think I forgot to mention that. You gotta drill a hole in your floor, 1-inch hole, the exhaust runs through. You want to run it to an area where there's no airflow into the vehicle, just so no fumes. Like if you open a door or something, you're not getting a bunch of diesel fumes from the heater. It doesn't really put out a whole lot. It only burns about a gallon every 36 hours on low, so you're not talking like idling a car. It's nothing like that. Georgie, up, up. Georgie, up, up. Good girl. Anyway, guys, she's asking to go out, so I'm gonna let you go and get this video uploading for y'all. It's been a year. Thank you for watching.